Welcome everybody to another War of the Visions video. Today we're talking about the Master Curl and the Esper that comes with the Vision card, and this is actually a bigger deal than it might seem because this is actually a very strong Vision card and a very good Esper, and I'll tell you exactly why that is. But it is also a big deal because now we know that Addison Rae is coming on Wednesday, and now while the unit is free for Addison Rae, the Vision card at this point, I haven't watched the live stream yet. This is before that when I'm filming this. We don't know if the Vision card is going to be free or if we're going to have to pull for it. So decisions will have to be made on Wednesday, and I will do a full breakdown of that on Wednesday. I'll do a should you pull for Addison Rae, all that kind of stuff. But for now, let's just talk about the Master Curl and what you can get for this VC Esper package. Let's talk about this Vision card, and it looks pretty good when you just look at the stats and the effects, and we'll talk more about the parties, etc. after this. But just to have that 156 attack and then 20 AP, really nice to see. You get more attack on the unit effects, and you also get 5% agility, which is always good when you can stack that. And there are some global effects. We'll take a look at specifically what those are in a second here. For the party effects, and we'll talk about the parties and all that, they are very good as well. So increased reaction block rate, 48%, it's almost 50%. It's a really powerful stat that can help you survive things like the preemptive counters from Bradley and Sephiroth, but also things like the self-heal from Hio, and there's just so many more. So there's a lot more high reaction rates in the game right now, so to have this is good. The magic resistance, always nice to put that on there, especially we just talked about how a lot of units in the game right now, in my Kefka review I talked about this, how there's a lot of units that actually don't have very good magic resistance, or just have like, it's positive but it's low or it's 0 or something. So that's good again to have that on a card. And then the single target resistance 20, that's the big thing. That's the whole reason this card is nuts. Whenever you have a single target resistance or an AoE resistance card, those are staple cards that are very easy to put into formations, and it makes it a lot easier, to pull for this just because it has that on it. Like it's just such a big deal, full stop. Now, do you actually need the jobs that will use this card? We'll look at that, but first let's take a look at those global exclusive effects. Here we are on the news update, and we can see here there's going to be this global upgrade for lightning units specifically. So lightning attack up and area resistance up, which is very, very strong to have AoE resistance on there. It's already going to be giving unit attack resistance. And guess what? Veiga doesn't have any area attack resistance. So this is really good for him specifically, but it's obviously good for anybody. Lightning attack up also means that this is going to help any lightning unit, but also Veiga, who has many attack types, will really love this as well. So it's definitely, a very specific upgrade. If this is a main card that you're putting on someone, and this hopefully is 10 AoE resist, bam, that's huge right there. Lightning mains definitely want it. So let's take a look at these jobs, which by the way are going to be Axe, Ninja Blade, Staff, Black Mage, and Staff Devout. Here we are with all the units that we can equip this Vision card to, or that will benefit from this Vision card being equipped to somebody in the party. And we're going to look at the elements specifically first. I don't think this card is particularly strong for a mono element except for Lightning. And there are some exceptions for lower cost content where you might actually use this card in different elements, but if we're just talking about URs, any cost, then Lightning is clearly the winner here because we have a full team here. We have Veiga, Skahal, and Reznik, and if you really wanted to do Renan instead of Skahal, or go full offense and go Skahal, Renan, and Veiga, you could do that. This is pretty nuts because with Veiga being so tanky, with Skahal having his impossible courage effect, you can't get rid of it, and Reznik healing them, you're in really good shape. You could straight up run a team with this and take advantages of the card having all this bonus stuff on it, especially because the single target resist card that you might look at is Esther's card, which this party kind of benefits from. Veiga likes the slash pen, but he also has a lot of slash pen, so doesn't necessarily need it. So you can address some other concerns with a mono lightning build in this way. So looks really good if you're going to build it with a mono lightning. But what if you were going to build it for other types of job-based teams? So we could talk about Axe, but to be honest, there's not a lot to talk about. It doesn't have a lot of VCs supporting it yet, and there aren't a ton of units that are Axe units. So we're not likely going to be making an Axe party with this. We could also talk about Ninja Blade, but honestly, I don't think that this card is for them necessarily either, because two of these stats on it are defensive, and a lot of these units, all of these units are evasion units they're just hoping not to get hit, period. So the single target resistance isn't a huge deal for them. And the only thing they really take from this is the reaction block rate. So then we have the Staff Black Mage, and I don't think that this is a team that you can really make like 3 of. And it also still is wanting some more support. But at least here you could maybe be hitting multiple units, getting them some buffs, and that would be allowing, you know, your third unit maybe doesn't need the single target resistance, whatever it is, and you can kind of capitalize on some of your units having it. At the same time, I'm still, you know, not really sold on this being relevant job-based VC right now. It's really going to be for people that are looking for that mono lightning application. And then finally, there is the Staff Devout here. And this one is kind of interesting because there's a lot more tanky mages on here, or some, you know, really interesting Devout healers that would like to have a little bit more survivability, although they'll more likely to be attacked by AoE attacks anyway. But again, this card at some point in the future may be really good for job-based teams. Right now, though, that's not the strength of it. It really is, you know, about getting that lightning support. I think personally, as a lightning VC, although I'm sure there's going to be people that have specific combos in mind. And if you do have a specific combo in mind, you can tell me in the comments if I've missed something, and that way the people that are watching can get that information too. So then there's the other reason to pull for this card, and it's to get the Esper. And I don't know that all players want to pull cards for Espers, but this is actually a very strong Esper, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, it has a nice attack stat and it has 20 agility. So that is a massive amount of agility on an Esper. We don't have very many Espers that are that high. It is an incredible thing to have an Esper that you can agility tune with. So new players, you know, will really enjoy that, to have that. And then the skill tree is the other part that I think is actually quite good. So aside from obviously being able to be built as a lightning Esper, we also have the ability to get some acquired AP up, to get some strike resistance, which I know a lot of people, you know, want these days, to have the slash attack, all that kind of stuff. But the other thing that's actually really good here is it has slash resistance, and that might seem kind of weird because lots of Espers do, but actually not many attack-based Espers have slash resistance. Lots of magic-based ones do, so your mages can easily stack some slash resistance. But for your attackers, a lot of these slash resistance Espers that have some attack stat are way more defensive, so their attack stats are low, their agility stats are low, and it means that you don't get to build as powerful a unit to then take that slash resistance. But this allows you to do it while still building for agility, while building for crit rate, for building slash attack, whatever it is, and even getting some acquired AP up. So I think that this is actually a really solid Esper, one of the best Espers we've had in a while. And I think that people will definitely be happy if they're able to pull or off banner this card, then you would be getting a tremendous Esper. So all in all, that puts us in a pretty tough spot because a lot of people won't have Visior to spend right now. A lot of people are waiting for maybe there's going to be another surprise at the end of June, and it makes it very difficult to spend 10k on a Esper / Vision card right now. But I will say though, that if you are interested in this Vision card, then just pulling it and not finishing it is actually an okay thing to do. So what you do is you pull the card, you make sure you complete the bingo, and then you just put it in the barracks, and we get login shards, we get login medals, all of these things, and the hard quests, and eventually you will finish it. So I actually did that for the Heindler VC that was for Greatsword users. I pulled that, and then I just put it in the hard quests, and I was very happy when it was finally done. So that's a really good way to approach this, because you get a killer Esper, you get a killer card, and it will just be ready a little bit later on, which I think people can wait for, especially if you're pulling it from Mono Lightning, because you already have lightning cards. A lot of you will. So if you pulled Vega, this is a good get for you. If you like lightning, this is a good get for you. And if you have any long-term hopes of playing with the jobs on this card, then that is something that you should definitely consider, because single target resistance is really good. But then again, I didn't really like the job mixes on this card so much. So for that reason, I'm actually going to be skipping it, but I think there's plenty of people that will get it and will be very happy with it. And there'll be even more happier people that off-banner it and end up getting that Esper. So good for them, you know, if you're lucky enough for that to happen. With all that said, I'm going to get out of here. I hope this video was useful for you though. And just a quick update for those of you that are wondering, I'm still filming on my laptop. I'm waiting for my PC to come back from the repair shop. Hopefully it's going to be better than ever, but my motherboard did die. It did fry some other parts of my computer. So I am stuck with a pretty hefty repair bill. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. I'm hopefully going to be mitigating what happened to it with my new build and some of the new stuff that's going in to help it stay cool, etc. But I did have that computer that I built for 3 years. Seems like an okay amount of time. I don't know. I'm still pretty choked about how much money I'm paying to repair it, but you know, it is what it is. So hopefully we'll be back soon with streams and other things that I can do on that computer, which I can't do on my laptop. Otherwise, thank you for your patience, and I'll see you all soon in another video.